Welcome back to the Rod Laver Arena, and well, arguably in many people's eyes, the match of the day, because of course it features the last Australian standing in the singles in both men's and women's. The wonderful, the talented Ash Barty up against Maria Sharapova. Not the first time she's taken this walk down the Walk of Champions, but the first time she's managed to do it in the round of 16 at the Australian Open. A penny for her thoughts.
Ladies and gentlemen, women's singles, fourth round action coming your way. Would you please welcome five-time Grand Slam champion from Russia, Maria Sharapova. And her opponent looking to reach her first Grand Slam quarterfinal from Australia, Ash Barty.
Resounding applause around this Rod Laver Arena. A few people obviously have snuck out to take this opportunity to get some refreshment prior to retaking their seats. That's where the action is going to happen. Weather today is a very, very nice 21 degrees right now. The mercury will rise a little bit, but it shouldn't be brutally hot for the players. Ideal conditions, not too much wind around as well, so ideal in every way. And it's a big day. She, of course, is a Grand Slam champion, Barty, in doubles last year with Coco Vandeweghe at the US Open. So she's tasted the ultimate success with a partner on her side of the court. But this, on her own, in front of her home fans, is a huge occasion for her. How will she handle it?
So, ladies, this is Savannah. She's going to be doing the coin toss today. Okay, so same conditions as before. Just remind you, 25 seconds between points, 5-minute warm-up, and then when I say end of warm-up, you have 1 minute to be at the baseline ready to play. If you want a challenge, just make it clear. Any questions? Maria, she wants you to call Rod Laver or ANZ? Rod Laver? It's ANZ. Your serve? Okay, perfect. If we can just do a photo facing the other way. Turn around, Savannah.
Well, I'm delighted to say that along for the journey today is Casey Zalakwa, and Casey, you have obviously been alongside Ash on the doubles court with almost the ultimate success as well. You've seen her grow up, you've seen her get to this stage of her career. How excited, firstly, are you?
Yeah, good afternoon, Mark. I'm very excited, and I'm excited for this match. I'm excited for Ash, and I have been honoured and privileged to be part of Ash's journey along the way, playing just a small part, but certainly exciting.
Pretty big part, let's be honest.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I don't want to take too much credit, but I'm very excited, and this is going to be a really cracking match.
Well, we pretty much know everything there is to know about Maria Sharapova. The good, the at times tough times that she's had, of course, as well. She is currently ranked 30 in the world. From Russia, the move very earlier in her life across to Florida, to Bradenton, where last November I was there. She was out there with her coach, Thomas Hogstead, still practicing extremely hard. The Belarusian Maximini was having some pretty intense workouts with Maria Sharapova on the court. Of course, we've been seeing that Serena Williams been hitting with quite a few of the ATP players as well prior to this tournament. Patrick Mouratoglou feeling as though that is something that will inspire her to even greater heights. From Ipswich up in Queensland, this is Ash Barty, a wonderful junior player as well, reached world #2 in the ITF junior rankings. She is still just 22 years of age, and boy, hasn't she crammed a lot in her life already. Took a small hiatus away from the game to go and play in the Big Bash in cricket for a while before coming back energized, revitalized, and is now currently 15 in the world and looking to obviously just take a next step into the world's top 10. Casey, when you
3 minutes, ladies. 3 minutes.
look at where Ash is at game-wise, taking on Sharapova. They've only met once before, of course. What has she got to do today well?
Well, she has played her previously, so I think that will help her in good stead, because sometimes Maria Sharapova's ball can be quite intimidating. There's no doubt, we know there is the last meeting in Rome that Sharapova won, but Ash had plenty of chances in that match. It was on a clay court, obviously hard court being a different situation, but there's no doubt Maria plays, I guess, fine line tennis. There's not much trajectory on a ball. It's hard and flat. So I think for Ash, for her to use her variety today, we know she has the slice. She's been serving fantastically. It's just how is she going to play her game when she's got the pace of ball coming from the racket of Maria Sharapova.
2 minutes, lady.
These are the routes through. As you can see, Sharapova straight sets in her opening couple of matches against the qualifier Harriet Dart, who's had a great start to the season. That was a tough one out there. Better days ahead for Dart. She'll learn from that. From Sweden, Peterson got 3 games, and of course a blockbuster in the 3rd round, because she's still coming back, really, in some respects. Sharapova, up and down year last year, and that was tough for the defending champion to meet her so early. Cracking contest, she got through in 3. Barty, well, she hasn't dropped a set so far. She has looked very impressive in dealing with the situation out there. Kumkum from Thailand, 2-2. Wang in the next round, 2-3. Was a breakdown there in the 2nd set, recovered nicely. Tight first set against Sakkari, ran away with it in the 2nd. What was your takeaway from the match with Maria and Caroline?
1 minute.
Well, for me, it was basically the fact that Maria played her game, she stepped up, and the fact that she was more aggressive. She actually served really well, Maria Sharapova, which I've been really impressed with. We know she's got the tendency on the 2nd serve to throw in double faults, and it can kind of affect the flow of the rest of her game. But she served really well against Caroline Wozniacki. There's no doubt she competed well. She's fighting well. For me, Maria looks really switched on, but she just plays that fine line tennis, and she did it against Wozniacki, where she goes low over the net, hard and flat. She's inside the court, but that's just the way she plays. And some days we've seen some very good tennis from her. Will Ash's variety today throw her off a game a little bit? I think that's the question. And will Ash be able to absorb the pace from Maria's racket, be able to use her slice, mix it up on the forehand side? And I do think Ash's serve so far in this whole tournament, and actually throughout the summer, has continued from last year, when she was one of the highest performing players on tour in regards to service games won throughout the season, and that's continued through this tournament as well.
Lovely view there from the Melbourne CBD back across the Yarra to the location of this wonderful Grand Slam. Its proximity to the city is one of the many wonders of it, and it has been attracting record crowds once again. There's the win predictor. Oh, that's good news for the Australians. We like that.
Yeah, well, I would
who was looking after this?
Well, I would say in a 2-horse race with a champion like Maria and a quality player like Ash, I'm going 50-50 at this point.
First set. Ashleigh Barty to serve.
Australia's finest.
Ready
to begin this round of 16 contest. It's such a big component of her success last year, as Casey so correctly was saying, one of the best players on tour in terms of service points won, second just to Serena Williams.
Let's first serve.
And I'd argue that she was even better than Serena, because she played 61 matches for a 63.5% record, and Serena just 24 for a 63.8. Beautiful. What a start.
Well, we know she's very competent and confident around the net, but this volley was down low at her feet, kept the head still. Technically, very sound.
Love.
Sharapova's
Sharapova
challenging this.
the call on the right baseline. The ball was called in.
Well, opening game here, Casey. We're seeing everything that is so great about Ash Barty's tennis, aren't we?
Yeah, that slice there was working well. Sharapova wasn't able to be overly aggressive on the slice.
(40-15).
How was that glare to the linesperson?
Pressure's on already.
That was fierce.
Game brought in.
That's a nerve settler right there.
Absolutely, and I've had a fair bit to do with Ashima Credit. Your player also played Ashleigh Barty last round, so I think we both have a very fair idea in regards to where she's at, and her serve in particular in that last match against Maria Sakkari was very good.
She's so accurate with her serve. I've said now for a while, given her height, I want to say that she's the best server on the men's and women's tour accuracy-wise.
I would agree with that, and you're right. It's not the pace, it's the movement on the ball, it's the discipline to pick her spots and be accurate on it, which has made her serve so effective.
Maria Sharapova to serve.
That's going to be a go-to play, you would think, on the +1 shot from Sharapova, quickly into the backhand side of Barty.
Yeah, I think that's no doubt the side that most players target and where Sharapova will be targeting today.
Love. Love.
Be fair to say her favourite serves are out wide on the deuce, T on the ad.
Yep, she likes to come around the outside of the ball. She served the out wide one on the deuce court particularly well against Wozniacki the other day to open up the court.
She can lose the rhythm at times on this serve.
Second serve.
Well, you mentioned
15.
Alicia Molik, former top tenor, of course, Fed Cup captain for Australia. Saw a quick shot of Thomas Hogsted looking after Maria Sharapova. He's been on the coaching carousel for a while now, spinning from player to player. That's too good. Smart point from Sharapova, changing direction down the line, getting it on the Barty backhand.
1 game all first set.
Yeah, you would think that Sharapova tactically is, where possible, is going to try and get that to the Barty backhand. That one did look a little bit wide, didn't it?
That looked a bit wide.
It did look a bit wide, but Ash choosing not to challenge.
Once, just a little predictable setting up for the topspin lob. Hawkeye confirming that Sharapova forehand was actually out, and maybe an indication that Barty's still feeling a little tense. That's very good. One of her favourite plays. The slice backhand gets the forehand into play, hook it up the line.
15 all.
Yeah, this is where Ash is going to look to always try and look for a forehand after she has used the backhand slice and get in an offensive position. To me though, Ash, I just feel like the footwork isn't as sharp just yet. We're obviously only in the 3rd game, and that will continue to improve. She was like this in the early stages of her previous round as well, which is understandable. It's a big moment for Ash Barty here.
No net neutrality here.
15.
It's an Aussie one. Made and produced and working its magic so far, keeping Sharapova's shots on her side of the net, and Barty's just dropping over for the moment.
The ball's good.
Yeah,
well,
it's unlucky. Barty unhappy with that, but
Sharapova's challenging the call left near sideline.
This is how much Sharapova's belief in the umpire is. Right under her chair, travelling at about 0 miles an hour.
(40-15).
Sublime. Great composure on the final volley. 2-1 Barty.
Sharapova has 2 challenges remaining.
no better atmosphere than a home player in front of a home crowd at a Grand Slam. I know we talk about Davis Cup and Fed Cup, but they come around once in a while. But when you get a moment like this, it is just phenomenal. And what a rally, Casey.
Yeah, for me, the way that Ash handled that return of serve, Maria Sharapova, well inside the court, directing it to Ash's backhand, but she dealt with it well and then found herself, played some good defence and found herself in offensive position once again. But yeah, it's a really, really exciting atmosphere out here. We can see the Vegemite Barty army they are.
They might have had a little bit more than Vegemite as well, I'm guessing.
Probably
something to wash it down with.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Not that you need, of course, anything to wash Vegemite down. But on a Sunday afternoon in Australia, just maybe there's a chance they have. Couldn't be a better day for a big match like this as well in terms of the weather. Being the weekend, everybody is pretty amped up, particularly Sharapova. She's come out here as ever, the vicious competitor that she is in terms of wanting to take another big scalp. Tough draw for the Russian. Had to take on Wozniacki in the previous round, and it's no easier today. Sun in her eyes. Be a little tricky for a while.
Outs.
Well, that was a bit of a giveaway, the serve, wasn't it?
Wide from here. Lovely.
Like you mentioned, the sun, she basically just put that in the middle of the box, 129. She's having some trouble down that end for right-hander at this time of the day. It's always the tricky end. Just having to reset a few times on her service action.
Messes with your timing.
15-13.
There's Michael Klimt. And, he, of course, a former Olympic gold medalist, world champion, former world record holder. Yeah. Getting in amongst it. She likes to return Ash up the middle of the court. She likes to neutralise everything and start the rally. You think there's an argument today with the Sharapova second serve of trying to implant a bit of negativity in the Russian's mind by getting after it?
Yeah, I think as this match goes on, I'd like to see Ash step inside the court, take the initiative, be aggressive. hit a little bit more to the lines.
Well, I don't want to detract from the match too much because this is going to be a pulsating contest. But the one thing I've always said from day one with the shot clock is the fact is, and I can't believe more players don't do it, if you throw the ball up, they switch it off, and then you get another chance to reset to throw the ball toss up. You never should. You should have to throw it up and hit it. And if you have to stop it, that's fine, but the clock still runs, and then once it runs out, you get the warning. Should never have been a grey area in the shot clock, ever.
Out.
It's going to be a little disappointed with that game, Barty, that it's got away from her.
A couple of unforced errors. A couple of cheap errors, which against Maria Sharapova.
2 games all first set.
Early in a match like this can sometimes make a difference.
Everyone gets nervous. I was reading a great book, The Captain's Class, and Bill Russell, who was the captain of the Boston Celtics when they had their greatest ever sort of decade, before every match he threw up. He was the leader of the team. He performed outstandingly every match, and yet before it he was that nervous that he is. And it's just a question of trying to get on top of somebody like Sharapova before her nerves settle as well. Because that, unfortunately, is what she's able to do if you do allow her to settle. She's that good.
Yeah, and this one here just ending up in her strike zone. She's a tall girl. Sometimes even Ash's kicker, if she's not getting enough kick, it's going to be in the slot for Maria Sharapova. But the slice has been effective.
15 all.
Like you just mentioned before, Petch, was about the timing of your opposition, and it's no doubt it affects the timing.
(30-15).
There's Rob Barty, Ash's dad, proud dad.
And not just proud because of her many
40,
achievements,
15.
but proud of the person she is as well.
Actually, there's the whole Barty family. We've got Josie Barty, far left, Ali Barty, Ali's husband Nick, and then, as we said, proud dad Rob. You're right, they're a lovely family.
40-13.
I've always been big on, you can be a good athlete, but you can still be a good person off the court, and that's something that Ash certainly is.
One of her favourite plays, that T-serve, hook forehand, keeps herself in front.
Leads 3 games to 2 first sets.
No breaks, opening 5 games. Probably about 20 minutes when a player gets out there that has the experience and the attitude at their fingertips that Barty and Sharapova do? Do you feel as though this is where the nerves start sort of evaporating and you can just focus on the tennis?
Yeah. And this is why I think this match is going to be, we're in for a good one, because sometimes early in matches you can see one player deal with the nerves better than other and get a bit ahead, but so far they've been managing to hold serve, but nerves would certainly be settling by this point.
Five-time Grand Slam champion. Of course, first time at Wimbledon back in 2004. A couple of French Open titles coming later on in her career. 2012, 2014. Not too many people would have said that that was going to be the major that she won more than the others when they first saw her burst onto the scene.
Love.
First rose to the top of the rankings in 2005 as well. She has had greatness and longevity.
Love.
This one just landing a little bit too short. And again, when Sharapova can swing freely and it's in the slot, it's when she's very dangerous.
30-15.
Too good. Picked her spot, drilled it.
40-15.
Such a strong two-hander as well.
Her stronger side?
Yeah, for sure. We've seen her hit a number of left-handed forehands in her career, and that gives you a good idea of just why it's such a good double-hander. It's the dominant hand it should always be for a right-hander on the two hands.
Yeah, she did a brilliant one the other day against Caroline Wozniacki.
Misses it there, and you'll see a lot of the top players practicing with their left hand as a right-hander to work on the two hands, and obviously you flip it around if you're a left-hander. When I was working with Andy, he's got a very good left-handed forehand when he needs to.
Does he?
Yeah, very good. You see Novak doing it as well.
Let's first serve.
Ash's backhand looks a little bit more right-hand dominated, which is why she also has such a great slice.
Yeah, and I'd say the same about, say, a player like Sam Stosur.
Game Sharapova.
It's a good tussle so far, isn't it?
It is. It's more of a kind, if you make the analogy to a box match, more jabbing going on here rather than anyone taking a full swing for the knockout punch.
And we're just waiting to see who is going to take that first left or right hook. I don't know my boxing that well, but...
Sharapova may have had her eyes on the ball, but she could sense that Barty was making her way into the net there. Almost dragged it past her.
Love. 30-15.
There's that return again. Hard, fast into the backhand of Ash Barty.
Let's first serve. Let's first serve.
She made it.
The Sharapova is challenging the
she
ball.
has.
Left baseline.
Yeah, I think this one dropped in.
She just caressed it, didn't she? Didn't use the pace off the return. She's not made it.
30-14.
And Sharapova with another look to the linesperson.
She's brutal, isn't she?
Yeah, kind of unnecessary. That's a tough call.
We all make mistakes.
Slice extracts the error. Actually had no forward momentum by the time it got to Sharapova. She had to generate everything there, and unwilling at the moment, the Russian, to use any slice back.
No, does it surprise you or?
Not really. I mean, she doesn't have a great slice.
Yeah.
Advantage.
I thought Maria Sakkari last round used her slice. It's not her preferred shot, but she certainly used it effectively against Ash Barty.
Game, Barty.
Monumental hold. Long way to go, of course, but that could have really shifted the momentum. But Barty hangs on to it, and it's 4-3.
Barty leads 4 games to 3 first sets.
Big for your own sort of optimistic outlook, a hold like that, isn't it? You kind of get a feeling that it could potentially be your day when you come through those moments.
Yeah, it's the first break point of the match, and it's always a good feeling when you come through it. Like you said, that'll give us some confidence.
It's a pretty healthy record on breakpoint saves as well, up at 55%, so saves more than she gets broken, so but Sharapova once again in that game just showing how much she wants this today, trying to dominate the scenery out there with her personality.
She's putting all sorts of intimidation around the whole court forward.
Sharapova a little late getting out of her chair there. Barty already up on the baseline waiting to return, and this of course a game where I'm sure the Australian is feeling that she's got to make more impact than she did the last time with the sun in the Russians' eyes. Maybe just needs to adjust the footwork a little bit. It wasn't the biggest serving from Sharapova. Perhaps just waited for the ball to come to her. She couldn't have the new balls, the Russian, but that may help Barty if she gets onto a couple of these returns.
Fifteen love.
There's no doubt the balls are a lot more livelier at new balls. You've probably hit with them, have you, Petch? Yeah.
There's a big difference
Yeah.
between the end at 7 games and obviously the restart here, and maybe that one just catching Barty out. She was very disappointed. Get the sense, Casey, that she's waiting for errors from Sharapova at the moment?
15 all.
Yeah. And I think, like you said, at some point it'd be good to see Ash just step inside the court and take a few risks. That might just give her the edge that she needs. Because I don't think it's necessarily a good tactic to wait for Sharapova to make errors. I almost felt like Caroline Wozniacki last
30,
round
15.
did a little bit of that. Sharapova just found a range. Once she was zoned in, Wozniacki just was battling.
All.
Some pressure developing on the Russian serve. Angle. Well, the crowd didn't even feel that that backhand was going over. Skimmed the top of the net, but this was world class. Left Sharapova stranded, and it gives Barty break point.
Well, that was a better second serve than I thought was coming. She's no doubt struggled more from this end, hasn't she, Sharapova?
It was a quicker second serve than it was a first serve on the previous point.
Out. Advantage Sharapova.
An awkward moment there.
Unintentional.
Yes.
Deuce.
Nothing but maximum effort from Sharapova. Definitely not fighting fire with fire here, Barty. A lot
Advantage,
of
Barty.
softer shots, change up in pace and spin. And maybe she has this all under control, because she has a second break point.
Thank you.
Going to be disappointed with that. Sharapova's favourite location with a serve, first and second serve, and she's missed both returns.
Yeah, we spoke about how much you can see the disappointment, because she might just want to take a step over there if it's a big point, half a step, just to get a little bit more reach on that forehand.
Let's first serve.
Patience.
Advantage Sharapova.
Very, very impressive patience there from Maria Sharapova. 21 shot rally, wasn't budging, was refusing to go anywhere but back to that backhand of Ash. And I'm not saying it's a weakness, but it's probably the one part of the game where Ash, if you can just be patient enough to go back into that corner, if you can get it there, as long as you don't give her a forehand, you can generally have a good outcome.
game, Sharapova.
Well, this time it's Sharapova's slower first serve that
4 games
catches
all, first
Barty out.
serves.
We've been mesmerised by the changes from the Australian, but that one there forced Barty to kind of fish for it far forward and lost control of it. A game that slipped through the Australians' fingers. Sharapova survives.
First serve. Love 15.
It's probably her favourite forehand. The forehand cross court. She gets such good angles, such good racket acceleration.
$15 all.
There we go. Barty using the slice as we would expect for majority of the time.
Well, not easy to play when the crowd are
15-13.
on the edge of their seats with every shot you play. And Sharapova, well, that was a wonderful effort to dig out that forehand from Barty cross court. Kept herself in the rally. Always willing to do whatever it takes, the Russian. Never a doubt in her mind, utter conviction that the forehand line was the right shot.
14.
And Barty, having had a couple of chances to put herself up 5-3 now, herself having to survive some break points. Was one of the best points of the tournament.
30-14.
And Sharapova once again showing that use of the left hand to keep herself in it. How was that lob? And then you thought she'd won it there. Barty with the response. And the change of direction, how brave was that from the Australians? Still in this, break point down though. This is some tussle, titanic tussle in this game.
There's Mark Taylor, Ash's S&C strength and conditioning coach, who he would be very happy with his charge out here, the way she's defending, chasing, running. This feels like the tempo's intensity's just lifted.
Advantage, Sharapova.
Just maybe felt as though Sharapova was going to try and get the jump on the kick serve there on the forehand. There was certainly logic behind the play, but unable to find the target. First double.
Game, Sharapova.
And it's a first break. In the end, it was a little tame, but nothing tame from this lady. She's a champion, and she's found a way.
Sharapova leads 5 games to 4, first sets.
A couple of games there that get your admiration for Maria Sharapova at this stage of her life, career, and everything else, is that no matter what it is, she doesn't mind a street fight.
Absolutely not. This is almost when she's at her best, when she gets in this, like we've spoken about, a bit of a boxing match with her opponent, a good tussle, a good fight. She's always slapping her leg, pumping her fist. She's in a pretty good place considering over the last few years. She hasn't played a lot of tennis, a lot of competitive tennis, but you said she was training really well in the off-season. And the thing is with Maria Sharapova, she still is only 31, and the way that the women are playing these days, we could see another 7 or 8 years of tennis from Maria Sharapova.
This is where reputations are made and enhanced. Of course, Sharapova's already a Hall of Famer, but she wants more. And a bit of a seismic shift in this match as well, to be honest. Can Barty respond?
Fifteen love.
She didn't even make an attempt to get that. Sharapova, that first ball toss. That felt to me like that was just stopping the shot clock.
Yeah, well, the umpire took a look somewhere. Not sure if she was looking at the shot clock or...
Supervisor getting some permission to do something about it.
Yeah, it's completely up to the umpire's discretion, but needs to be dealt with.
Forty love.
Just couldn't resurrect her challenge here, Barty, after the disappointment from 4-3, where so tantalizingly close to going up the break. Saved 2 break points fantastically well, but then Sharapova with now 3 set points.
Game.
Sealed with an ace. She gets better and better as this match progresses. And Barty now having to come from behind.
Sharapova leads by 1 set to love.
Now she's landed the first telling punch by taking that opening set, and Barty will be just wondering as she sits here at the changeover how that got away from her so rapidly.
Yeah, she could see even on the last change of ends in here now, she'd be very disappointed, but there's only one thing you can do, and that's put that aside now and focus on the rest of the match. But a few too many unforced errors off the racket. The thing that stands out there for me from Ash Barty, and a lot of those came in that last game. I think she played 3 unforced errors at least in that last game, but some good clean stats there from Maria Sharapova with 13 unforced errors. 5 winners, so probably not in the positive in that sense, but it really came to those break points, and Ash didn't, like we say, resurrect herself after that disappointment. Some really good highlights though from this first set from both players. Ash playing some great stuff, Maria giving us some left-handed forehands, both girls playing defense really well. I think the average rally length was up at 5 shots per rally, so we saw some really good stuff, but it was Maria Sharapova that found a way.
Well, of course, Barty, who pulled out of doubles with Victoria Azarenka because she had a slight problem with her abdominal muscle, has certainly got a gut check right now, because from a set down, she has to win the next couple if she's to progress through to the quarterfinals of a Grand Slam for the first time.
15 love. All.
Got to keep her discipline. We like the variety, but she probably just needs to knuckle down and do a few things well from the back of the court just to stabilize the situation. Sharapova on the prowl. Exactly that.
30-15.
Countered that cross-court forehand a couple of times today, magnificently, Sharapova.
Yeah, she has, and it's the favourite shot from Ash Barty. I think as Ash continues to develop, there's a couple of different forehands that she'll need to improve, but that forehand cross is her strength. But Sharapova's nullified that very well in this match.
(40-13).
This time counters the inevitable attack from Sharapova and gets up and running here in the second.
First game, second set.
Let's just take a quick look at the win predictor here. Of course, it had Barty winning marginally at the start. It's gone heavily in favour of Sharapova, a massive 27.6% swing, and you can argue that that's fair. And the reason I say that is because Sharapova, when she's won the opening set at Grand Slam level has won 181 matches and lost just 9.
Wow.
Whereas Barty, when she's lost the opening set at Grand Slam level, has won just 3 matches out of 20. Anna Konya at the US Open in 2017, Sabalenka, which was a nice win here last year in Australia, and Georgie as well last year. So the win predictor in terms of the logic behind that percentage, certainly spot on.
Love.
Just hasn't been able to get to work effectively yet on the second serve of Sharapova. I mean, unacceptable.
All.
Good length control by both women right up until that last forehand. I was saying about the second serve, you look at Sharapova in this match, she won almost 80% of her second serve points. Take a look back at her last year, she played 31 matches and she won just 43% of those second serve points. Barty will be disappointed with what she's been able to achieve there.
Shows the improvement in Sharapova's second serve, but I also do feel that Ash could potentially mix it up on her second serve, whether that's with court position. We spoke about how she likes to neutralise on the serve to get herself into a rally situation, but maybe it's time to step up and take a few risks.
A bit like that, Casey.
I think she heard me. We have a bit of a sixth sense going.
I was gonna say, you guys played doubles together. You've plugged in.
Yeah. Talk about a smart tennis brain, though. If there's one person that I feel is going to work it out throughout this match, it is Ash.
It's a great serve. Goes against the grain in terms of her direction. But you don't need to do it that frequently to just keep your opponent honest.
Yeah, and it makes the slider tee that she does use in her favourite a lot more effective.
Too good. She can spread the place so beautifully off that two-hander.
Love 15.
This is the forehand. When I say Ash has got some things that she can develop, which is so positive because she's already 15 in the world, but it's the off forehand here that I just feel Ash over the next few years will continue to work on.
Let. Second serve. All. Fifteen, 13.
But he's so calm on court, as you say, so composed, a great problem solver. Right now you feel as though she's going to have to match Sharapova's intensity, that competitive fire. I should say fire, more like an inferno.
Yeah.
Wait, please.
Don't need to throw any more flammable liquid on that.
There's some good discipline from Ash Barty that we spoke about as well. I actually feel the tempo of this match is fairly slow, which when Maria is taking her time, she takes her time in between first and second serves, and Ash does like to play fairly fast. That can throw off your timing a little bit as well. Craig
Tyser right at the end of that front row.
He's back.
He's back. The medicine's worked.
Yeah. I was having a quick chat to him, kind of just having a joke that he had the man flu and he was stuck in bed all week.
It's harsh.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
Barty catching the line. Tense opening three games at the start of the second. 2-1.
First set, Sharapova.
Sharapova having a look down at the line. She's had a couple of calls that she had to go to Hawkeye to prove correct, but that one was definitely in. Barty there just intimating something there. What was that?
Yeah, I could just see her looking over to her box. You can see some frustration from Ash, there's no doubt. Don't exactly know what she was trying to infer, but just getting frustrated with some of her play. I think trying to get a feeling what her coach is feeling in the box as well.
Talk today that Australia may bring on-call coaching in 2020, I saw.
Yeah.
Are you a fan?
Do you know what, when that first came out on the WTA tour, I was never a fan. I didn't vote it in. I was one of more of the old school girls. I don't know if I'm a fan of it at slams. I'm probably more a traditionalist, rather see it not come in.
Tennis Australia should be congratulated for how they have developed this site and tournament into the showpiece that it has become. For my money, it's the benchmark for all the 4 majors now in terms of the offerings for fans, players, media, everybody.
Quickly, thank you.
It's been a spectacular rise, really, for this tournament. Going to keep the others on their toes. Barty keeping former champion here on her toes in this second set as well.
Love.
There is Craig.
There's Craig. He's resurrected. It's back.
You do know it is, genetically, flu for men is much more severe. Both players putting out in terms of work rate.
Sharapova is challenging the goal on the right centre serve. The ball was called out. Sharapova has 2 challenges remaining.
Barty perhaps carving out a little opportunity here. Well, that was interesting. That was interesting. She felt the need to go so big. I don't know whether she was chasing it, Casey, because the ball toss was erratic.
Yeah, a lot more pace on that second serve. It's not like Ash has been stepping up and really being aggressive, but what an opportunity here for Ash Barty. I almost feel it's now, or not never, but got to really take your chance.
Doesn't always have to be that pretty to be valuable. Just go look at the Mona Lisa in the Louvre. That's priceless, but that is also huge for Barty. Miss hit return. She hadn't made too many on the break points up till then.
Thank you.
Sharapova looking a little edgy.
Love 15.
Back to work straight away. One of the great resetters mentally the game's ever seen.
Well, it's the side that I felt at some point will break down a little bit. The forehand, overplaying that one.
Let for serve. Let second serve.
It was careful, it was considered.
30-15.
And cultured at the same time. That was old school.
It was old school. Very measured play, this one. Just push that forehand deep in the court to get this volley here.
A little bit more pace on that inside-out forehand that you've been calling for. This is
40-15.
Sharapova's worst segment of the match. Not sure that Barty's elevated her play so much as has been able to sustain it. Cleans the line, clear thinking, and clear air between the two in this second set. Barty 4-1.
First set, Sharapova.
Well, she played so well in her previous match, Sharapova, that you kind of weren't sitting here feeling as though there was going to be this potential lull. But as you've been saying, again correctly, because she hasn't played all that much over the last few years, and do you feel like that was just a little bit of a switch off from Sharapova?
Yeah, a little bit of lapse of concentration. She did it a little bit in the second set against Wozniacki the other day as well. As we see the great man, Rod Laver, what a privilege. Ash will be very, very stoked to see him in the front row. But yeah, she did it against Wozniacki, but in the third set, as we spoke about, her competitiveness kicked in again and she switched on and found her zone where she was just on fire again.
Well, as good as this contest has been, it kind of needed that little change of scoreboard just to wake up these fans even more, and they're going to get hugely engaged now, you would feel. Just waiting for Barty to fire up. She's managed to do that. Wayward. What's going on?
more unforced errors have creeped in. We spoke about Ash being disciplined. It's almost like it's Sharapova's turn to be disciplined, measured at this point.
It's funny, it's a hard court here, but it's got a bit of a feel of a clay court match when you suddenly get behind in a clay court and you feel like you've got to force to hit winners and try and get cheap points. The unforced errors come fast and furiously, and that's exactly what's happened here.
Love 14.
You can just see Ash, she's definitely stepped in on that second serve return. There's no doubt those last couple of double faults have been created from the racket of Ash.
That it's the slice backhand that's produced
5 games to 1, second set.
the change around as well. Throw back to a different era, but still effective in the modern game. The last Australian, male or female, standing in the singles draw, standing on the precipice of taking this round of 16 match into a decider. Transformation in fortunes happen. It's happened very swiftly. Barty reeling off the games.
Fifteen love. Fifteen all. Well, he's in the stadium
and he's on the walls, and he has got some great advice for all players. There he is. Rocket, Rod Laver. And a rocket of a forehand from Barty brings up 2 set points. Exhilarating stuff from the Australian.
6-21. 1 set in.
Set apiece.
All right, well, here we go. Second set summary for me, and I think you would agree, Mark, was the fact that Maria Sharapova's level just dropped, a few too many unforced errors, and she just allowed then Ash to feel comfortable and give her the opportunity to open up the shoulders. And those last couple of games there, she started serving better. I felt Ash, as Maria takes a toilet break.
Well, there was a little bit of a glimpse of what was coming. She started to get a little bit more aggressive on the returns if she could, but to be fair, it was a surprising drop just when there was a bit of pressure midway through that second set on Sharapova's serve. A very aggressive second serve that came out of nowhere, was almost 10 miles an hour quicker than her average for the day. Somewhat out of character, but then Barty never looked back, apart from to her box once she was celebrating. Proud Australian, proud champion and ambassador for this sport. Vocal and vociferous, the support for Barty as Sharapova.
The linesman has to do a good job of keeping up with Maria Sharapova.
She's clearly heading all the way back to the locker room as well. I think there is a room just off to the right there that you can do whatever you need to do, but she is heading all the way back to the change room. So this will be a fairly substantial break, you would feel, for Barty just to sit there, regroup, and trying, Casey, to maintain the kind of energy and intensity she had there towards the end of the second.
Yeah, I think if Maria Sharapova looks back on that, like we spoke about, that game where she served the double fault, I think she'll regret that a little bit, because it's allowed Ash to feel really comfortable and settled out here now. And this is when Ash is almost at her best too now. She's one set all. She knows she's in this match. She's got nothing to lose in a way now. So for her to come out here, she just needs to continue to do what she's got to do, and just don't want to see get too passive in this third set. I feel like it might have just been very slight, but she certainly improved her court position from a return position, but also just in a regular rally position. I felt like she was a little bit more up in the court. But
is this a good move to get out there so soon?
Yeah, I think so. I think the longer you sit there and think about it too long, she's up in the back in the shade there. You can start to think about too much when you're just sitting there. You're right, though, it's very interesting. I forever have thought all these big show courts, they have a toilet just off to the exit there as you exit the court, but
tell me, why do the female Australian players have nicknames like the men did, like Rocket Rod Laver? Of course, he wasn't a rocket, was he? They were always given these nicknames because it was actually the attribute they didn't have at the time when they were growing up. Ken Rosewall, muscles.
Yeah.
No, nothing for Ash Barty?
No, actually. I just call it...
Sam Stosur?
No, we just like shorten everything. So it's Sammy, it's Asho, actually Ash, we just call Asho. She calls me Del.
We need to think up something.
Yeah.
That's our task for the next week of this slam.
I know there's one thing she doesn't like, and that's the whole Barty party thing.
Okay.
So...
we'll stay away from that.
Yeah. It's not that she doesn't like it.
Hopefully she'll invite us to it.
Yeah.
If there's one.
Well, I better be invited.
Well, it's premature to celebrate against such a wonderful champion like Maria Sharapova, but she's given herself a lifeline here, Barty, by taking this through to the third round. This is one of the great sporting areas in the world, precincts, whatever you want to call it. Melbourne Arena there, the outside courts, you've got the MCG just over the rail tracks.
They had 93,000 people through yesterday on Super Saturday.
Well, the umpire is on the phone, and Maria Sharapova, as ever, orchestrating everything within the rules, but within her time frame. And the tennis authorities around the globe need to somehow figure out a way to make sure that these kind of lengthy end-of-set breaks just simply disappear from our sport. It's not conducive to television, the fans' enjoyment of the sport, and it's frankly pretty unnecessary.
Yeah, and it's not fair on your opposition, I don't feel.
And it's also a grey area again. It's like, do you let them go or don't you let them go? But like, which one is it?
Well, the reality is it's not a heat rule. If the heat rule was in, as you can see, she's gone all the way back to the locker room.
Yeah, but the umpire can't do anything, can't default her. So, as I said, it's within the rules. She's experienced enough and has the backbone to exert that kind of demeanour. And as she strolls back down the Walk of Champions, she'll also get a little bit of inspiration from the fact that she's won here as well. That will boost her morale as she tries to put behind her what just happened. And there's no doubt that this lengthy delay, as you can see her walking past her name, is also allowing her extra time to just get rid of any residue of disappointment of how she performed the second half of that second set.
Yeah. Well, the crowd aren't happy.
And they paid their money and they're allowed to show their displeasure.
Time.
Way too long. You got to feel for Barty here. That was all orchestrated at the tempo that Sharapova likes. She won't care what anyone thinks about it either.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Final set shootout between one of the game's great gunslingers up against an artist. Perfect start, just what the crowd wanted as well.
Love 14.
Six double fault for Maria Sharapova.
Love 14.
Looking a little concerned there. Tomáš Högstedt.
Let Fisser. Please, ladies and gentlemen.
There's a sense of justice about that break. And I have to say, I do feel like umpires are a little bit too quick to try and calm crowds down at times. I feel as though in tennis, you know, you got to, as I said, they paid their money, they come in here, they feel in a certain way. Let's get on with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're patriotic, they're Australians. We have an Australian out here. Don't think you would expect anything less from the crowd. I think they've been very fair throughout this match.
Just checking a look at Barty's deciding set record at majors. 4-4, 1-4, lost 4. Won 3 out of the last 4 though, which is good news for her. Lost her last one against Serena at Roland Garros. Sharapova with a very healthy 46-1, 21 lost. And of course, won her most recent against Wozniacki in the previous round. And there's the win predictor. Wow. It is swinging violently today.
It is, isn't it? Well, there's Alicia Molik, who has actually been helping Ash out a lot. As Craig Tyser, her coach, has been ill. They've been in very tight communication, though, to get Ash here into the 4th round.
She goes on to win this match. That may be the reason she does so.
Very, very good discipline there from Ash. Felt like the last few couple of points, Maria's tried to increase her level in regards to keeping balls in the court, but Ash is staying with her.
Nice to have one of those up your sleeve as well. 4th best in terms of number of aces served last year, Barty.
Please. Game button.
Survives.
Well, we spoke about the nerves in very, very early stages in the beginning of this match, but She's on her way now, Ash Barty. Now it's Maria's turn to really find a way to get the momentum back.
Let, second serve.
Dad's looking pretty relaxed.
Let, second serve.
You know them pretty well. Who's the most nervous out of Mum and Dad?
I think Josie would be a little bit more nervous. I think Rob's pretty relaxed.
Skimmed off the line.
15 love.
Almost feel like this is a must-win game for Sharapova.
She feels like she needs to get a little bit of traction in this, absolutely. And it's a big game for Barty as well, because she is right on top at the moment, and you want to push home your advantage against somebody like Sharapova, psychologically as well, because if she senses any weakness, she's going to get after you.
Oh. 30 love. $30-15. $40-15. $40-13.
Serve is really starting to trouble Sharapova now.
Deuce.
They were working on it in Bradenton in the off-season quite substantially. Of course, she's had shoulder problems which have contributed to a slight change in motion and everything else, but the rhythm has completely gone for Sharapova. She served almost 200 doubles last year. She's adding to her 2019 collection pretty heavily right now. Sharapova in danger here at the start of the third set of having her side of the scoreboard being redundant.
Interesting, she's started to, felt like she's played a lot of backhands cross-court throughout this match, but she started to change it up and go to the Barty forehand, which I'm not sure is the right play.
Looks down at the ball that Barty hit on the return, but is challenging. But I don't think she's been allowed to challenge, in fact. 3-love Barty.
Too late to challenge, and looked at her box as well. Good call by the umpire. It's interesting the serve of Maria Sharapova for me, because when she played Wozniacki in the previous round, she actually served I think only 2 double faults that entire match, and you can just see how much it affects the rest of her game. Some players can throw in a few doubles and it not matter so much, but Sharapova just really affects the flow of her game.
Time.
Premature to celebrate, but as you asked Ash Barty at the start of this match that you'd be settled 3-love up with a couple of breaks to the good against Maria Sharapova, she would have asked you where she could sign for that particular scenario. The Russian will have to mount a rear guard action here.
Any seat for now, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Out. 15-love.
Getting away from Sharapova very quickly. 8 games in a row now for Ash Barty since 1-1 there in the second set. And gosh, Ash has cleaned up her game tremendously. And well, Sharapova's game has really turned 360.
The hole to love. The crowd love it.
4 games to love, final set.
The coach, an Aussie legend, as she makes a case for being one of those as well. Ash Barty on the brink, a couple of games away of her first ever quarter-final in a major in the singles. it. How cool is that?
Well, we've said it, Maria Sharapova will regret allowing Ash Barty to get into this match, because this is brilliant. She disguised it well, and the feel. And in regards to where we sit in this match, for Ash, she's obviously knows she's going to be going into the quarterfinal, but just to have that breathing space here in this third set at 4-love, it's going to make a difference, even how she plays these next few games.
It's an untrodden path that she's on. The confidence flowing, as is the velocity on the ball as well, taking Sharapova's time away. It's a little bewildering that the belief has dwindled as fast as it has for Sharapova. So resolute in her self-belief generally.
Out. 15-13.
I think a bit of the problem with Maria Sharapova is there's often no plan B, is there? So plan A, since 1-1 there in the second set, hasn't really gone to plan. Where does she go to?
$30-all.
Well, it was a slightly strangled call, which I think has prompted Sharapova to challenge, but I don't think it was a wrong call. It just wasn't as assured as players like them to be. And it is break point again.
Deuce. The advantage, Barty.
Barty will receive that unforced error very gratefully.
Deuce.
Well, there'll still be life in this contest if Sharapova gets through this service game. The next Barty service game will be full of intrigue.
Time violation warning, Ms. Sharapova. advantage, Sharapova.
Long way to go, but it might be the type of thing that just galvanizes Sharapova's challenge here. Feeling as though her back's against the wall, the world against her. Sometimes that's when she's at her absolute best.
Deuce.
Yeah, you're right. There's no doubt at times in this third set, the self-belief of Maria Sharapova has looked not quite the same as we did see in the earlier stages, but there's always still life when you're talking about a champion like Maria Sharapova.
Exhibit A.
Advantage, Sharapova.
That's the serve that she was hitting really well, particularly in the first set.
Game, Sharapova.
But it does give her
Barty leads 4 games
opportunity
to 1
to
final set.
resuscitate her challenge in this final set, hanging on to her serve. There's Sharapova's service motion, gets into a nice trophy position here. Too much wrong with that.
No, sometimes the ball toss definitely gets too far out in front and too low as well.
First couple of points the next game. A little edgy time for the Australians. Now there's the walkway over to the entertainment area, the festival area as well, that is attached to Melbourne Park. Closing in on a couple of hours, this contest, as Barty closing in on victory. A couple more games for her. Just has to hold her nerve and her serve twice more.
Love 15.
Yeah, it's the holding of the nerve that is so important in these situations. There's no doubt Ash has got more experience now than she had a couple of years ago in these situations. And the doubles certainly has helped her in that. But on the other hand, it's also a foreign territory in regards to her singles. Fourth round, you're at home, the whole country's behind you. There's certainly that level of expectation.
Let's hope she's not thinking of all those things, because
15-13.
it's going to get awfully complicated to put Sharapova away if she is, because if there's one thing that Sharapova has in abundance, and that is determination, a doggedness that you can't teach. And her mind is wandering,
15-14.
unquestionably. She had kept herself at the crossroads of the present so well in this match, but now perhaps just starting to allow it to drift to how she's going to feel being in her first quarterfinal of a singles major.
30-14.
one crisis averted, another one appearing quickly in the horizon.
Game, Sharapova.
Barty feels the full weight of Sharapova's shot and presence once again.
Game 2, final sets.
Well, the saying was, when you come at the king, you best not miss. But in this case, when you come at the queen, you best not miss. And Barty had a chance at 4-love to put Sharapova away.
Love.
Sharapova.
30
Good
love.
defense there from Ash to get herself almost neutralized in this point, but a couple of interesting drop shots. We haven't seen Sharapova play too many drop shots throughout this match. How much of the physical aspect do you think is coming into this match at this point?
I think it's all mental right now.
Yeah, I agree. From both players, absolutely.
And Australia breathes.
Do you know who that is, Mark Petchey?
I believe it's your Prime Minister.
Yeah, Mr. Scott Morrison, Prime Minister of Australia, with his Australian cap on there. Slice backhand once again. Causes the unforced error from Maria Sharapova.
Break point to Barty.
Deuce. Advantage, Barty.
This is live sport at its finest, unscripted and at times unvarnished. Barty once again with an opportunity to break the Sharapova serve. Barty's day far from unfinished as Sharapova once again salvages the situation.
Lek.
From another world.
Advantage, Sharapova.
21 mesmerizing shots. And I'm not sure that was even the best of them.
That was a cracking forehand there from Sharapova around the post, but you're right, what a point.
Game, Sharapova.
Unbelievable effort this from Sharapova. She seemed down and out.
Final set.
But she is very much back in it now. Talk me through this, Casey.
Oh my goodness.
How does she do it?
This is incredible. This is the point that we just spoke about. And when we talk about the determination and competitiveness of Maria Sharapova, this point certainly describes all of that. This was the around the post forehand. Ash using her slice effectively. And this is the shot that Maria Sharapova, the drop shot that she's started to use, but again, defensive lob. Such a quality point. That was a tad awkward, the slice, but effective.
Watching in awe of a rerun of that amazing point in the previous game. Can Barty recover?
Love 15.
Sharapova, who's been shifting through her suitcase of memories over the years and finding some valuable ones that have told her that she can turn this around still.
a mental battle for Ash out here now.
A journey into the unknown for Barty.
15-13.
And a well-trod path for Sharapova. Trying to be brave
15-14.
and hit through the fears. But it is the fearlessness of Sharapova, who at the moment is on the run. 2 break points.
She needed that.
30-14.
Poor mum. Must be so nerve-wracking being out there. Josie's been along the journey, obviously, from day dot. Needs a good first serve here to get herself on top of the point early.
What defence of the return from Barty. Quick thinking. She knew it was coming. She wasn't sure where it was going to go.
Big serve there from Ash.
Advantage, Barty.
Michael Klim is happy. Alicia Mollett is nervous.
Fluctuating emotions for everybody out there. At full love. The hope was high. It then looked like it might be heartbreak. It swung back to hope.
Well, I can't say how much the serve has helped Ash Barty over this January. In the last match, and now particularly at this crucial time, it's the serve that really has helped settle any of those thoughts or nerves that were creeping into her head.
Second serve. Second serve. Let's second serve. Thank you.
Flexibility in Barty's game coming to the fore there.
15. 15 all. Thirty 15.
Hoping.
40-15.
But this time the judgment let her down.
Yeah, just misjudged this one. It was a little bit awkward. Had a bit of extra height in it.
Forty 13.
Well, it was a double fault early on in the second set that really started the turnaround for Barty. And it's another one that keeps her competitive in this game.
Game Sharapova.
Understandably, there's still some nerves swirling around, percolating in her
Barty
mind
tied
about
into
what
final
may or
set.
may not unfold in the next 5 minutes. It's 5-4 Barty, final set. Somehow she's dug deep into that reservoir of self-belief and memories of the past to drag herself back into contention in this final set.
So, well done.
And Barty here is going to have to use this 90 seconds effectively to try and compose herself. Is she going to get it done, Casey?
Well, I think it's all going to come down to the serve. How well she serves in this game, particularly these first few points.
Time.
One of those defining moments in a player's career, you feel, for
Thank you, players.
Ashleigh
are
Barty,
ready.
serving for a place in the quarterfinals at this year's Australian Open.
It's a good start.
15 love.
She's absolutely had some big moments in her career to date, but this is by far the biggest one in her singles career.
love.
She's doing a good job there to get her first serve in. Try and get some kick on it.
Millimeters from 3 match points.
30-15.
Arguably fitting that it's the Bharti serve that brings up the 2 match points. Laser-like precision.
14-11. Please.
Sharapova's ice-cold temperament in the heat of the Australian sun keeps her in the match, saving the first match point with some aplomb.
Thank you. Players are ready. On the right centre serve.
Tough from where we are, but I think it's wide. I feel as you're an Australian, the agony is going to continue.
Please. Deuce. Ms. Sharapova has 2 challenges remaining. Ms. Bharti has 2 challenges remaining. Ms. Sharapova challenging call, right far sideline.
From the depths of despair with the double fault to the delight of an ace. For thin margins.
Ms. Sharapova has 1 challenge remaining. Thank you.
And with
Please.
the accompaniment of the applause, a 3rd match point for Bharti.
Deuce.
For a 4th time. She just needs 1 more point. Australia celebrates.
4-6, 6-1, 6-4.
As does Ash Bharti. She finally seals the most famous victory of her singles career.
Oh, wow. What an end to what was an awesome match. And Ash was 4-love up there in the 3rd. she was well and truly home, but credit to Maria, she brought it back. The crowd appreciates her efforts as a former champion here at the Australian Open, but there's no doubt it's Ash Barty's day. All of Australia on a Sunday afternoon here in Melbourne are watching her, all around Australia, and you can see how much that meant to her.
The Irish playwright George Bernard Shaw once famously wrote, "Just do what must be done. This may not be happiness, but it is greatness." For Barty today, it's both. Let's listen in.
Ash, I think you know what everyone thinks of your performance out here. Congratulations. Your first ever Grand Slam quarter-final. How hard was it to get over the finish line?
Yeah, it was a little close, wasn't it? No, look, I think I gave myself opportunity in the third set in a lot of games and just couldn't take it. So just had to take a deep breath and trust the work and, you know, trust the work that I've done with my team, go up and hit my spots, and whatever happens, happens.
What were you telling yourself when you were 4-love and you were pulled back to 4-3 to get yourself into this quarter-final? Because that was Maria was coming right back at you.
Yeah, and she's an absolute champion. She was never, ever going to go away. So I knew that I just had to keep chipping away. And in a sense, just trust the work that we've done. I know that I can match it with the best, and when I execute, I know that I can.
You're well known as a multi-talented sportswoman. 3 years ago, you were off playing cricket, not tennis. Did you ever imagine yourself standing here making a Grand Slam quarter-final?
I think I was pretty rapt yesterday that the Heat girls made the final. They're in the WBBL final next week, but that was a hell of an afternoon yesterday. But no, this is unreal. Playing on this beautiful court in front of a packed house, there's nothing better.
I know you've got to recover from today, but in the next round, you play the woman you lost to in the final in Sydney, Petra Kvitova. It doesn't get any easier for you, does it, Ash? Give us a few thoughts on what we're going to see from you on Tuesday.
Yeah, I know, it doesn't get any easier at all. It's just another challenge and another opportunity for me to come out and try and play my best tennis. You know, I've come agonisingly close against Petra before, so I can come out on Tuesday, play a fun, free brand of tennis and see how we go.
Ash, many congratulations. You were fantastic today. Ladies and gentlemen, Ash Barty!
Sport unifies. Australia's Prime Minister. And at times there's been some tumultuous moments in politics around the world, and there were some on the court today, but Ash Barty overcame her nerves. A champion of an opponent to break new ground in her career, Casey.
Yeah, I think that was a kind of a test that Ash can tick off now that she's passed in regards to mentally getting through a match like that. You can't, I guess, put a price on what that can do for someone's career, especially when she's only 22. We know her future's bright. We know she's going to be a top 10 player, but moments like this really matter, and she knows that too, and she's had such a big journey along the way and seen the ups and downs, and she's ready for this moment. This was the moment that was waiting for her, and she took it with both arms.
Can we just say quarter past next? Yeah, okay, I'll follow you. Yeah.
That's what I love about Ash. There's no fuss. She's going to be organising her press, doing her recovery, probably watching some more cricket.
Yep. She is everything you want a great sports person to be. She wins with charisma, she wins with style in terms of the way that she plays this game, but she's also very true to herself and authentic. Well, that's the statistics, those are the numbers, but it certainly doesn't do justice to the emotions that were out there on the court.
Yeah, no, we certainly felt that in